After I removed the claim from my video, we responded to Billy's lawyers advising them that the segment was removed and that I would be issuing a retraction. I wanted the retraction to get as many views as possible, and in my video, The Greatest Feat in Video Game History, I included this segment at the end.
Y la encontré porque estaba la paellera agarrada metida entre las piedras de chipiona del faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y a ver la vende paellera. ¡Asómate! ¡Mira dónde llega el agua! ¡Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante! ¡Había subido la marea!
So, as you can already tell, today we're gonna be taking a look at Karl Jobst failing at damage control after his absolute abortion of a case with Billy Mitchell. So, for those that somehow don't know, the short version of the story is that Karl Jobst essentially accused Billy Mitchell as being one of the causes of Apollo Legends passing. Now, not only was Karl Jobst actually guilty of that, but the claim is also completely false, as in Apollo Legends' own statement, he states a completely different reason, that being his chronic illness, so he wanted to go on his own terms. I don't really want to go into more detail and would prefer to not have to talk about it at all, but it is important context to the lawsuit, so that's as much as I'm going to speak on it. And well, Billy Mitchell won that lawsuit, who could have seen that coming, which resulted in Karl Jobst completely crashing out, playing the victim, blaming the judge, and even shit-talking his lawyers for telling him to stop making videos on the whole lawsuit, which he ignored and proceeded to keep doing it for like, how many years now? Yeah, not even I know. So not only was the verdict just completely justifiable, but Karl also got a bunch of pushback for essentially lying by omission by making it seem the lawsuit was about the cheating allegations instead of what it was actually about. And so he made this gem of a video. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this dogshit non-apology, as quite frankly it was a pain in the ass to even finish it, by how much this guy just dodges taking any accountability and essentially says the equivalent of, "Oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way." So this is not going to be a typical response, but I will just point out some parts which I just found absolutely laughable and milk this absolute abortion for all the ad revenue it's realistically worth. So with that out of the way, let's get right into this shit.
On the 1st of April, I lost my lawsuit against Billy Mitchell, and the judge has ordered me to pay $350,000 in damages, plus interest. It goes without saying this is not the result I wanted or expected, and it's honestly quite shocking. Personally, I disagree with the judge's decision, and so I'm currently exploring any potential avenues for appeal.
Yeah, good fucking luck on that front, as the judge was more than charitable towards you, but unfortunately for you, facts are still facts. And the fact is, Billy was 100% in the right in suing your dumbass, as you did, in fact, slander him. And just the fact you're making me defend him is really saying enough by itself.
But truthfully, losing a court case isn't the end of the world.
He says, while he literally spent the whole time between the verdict and this video just throwing a hissy fit about it.
Even if it is to Billy Mitchell. It sucks, it's not what I wanted, I know it's not what many others wanted, but life will go on. Unfortunately for me, something else has happened that has been far more upsetting, and far more difficult to deal with. Many people are upset and angry with me as they believe I have misled them and lied to them about the nature of the lawsuit. Some even go as far as saying that I intentionally lied to the public to scam people out of their money through my GoFundMe. Mostly, people are upset because they believed the trial was about me accusing Billy Mitchell of cheating, but it turned out to be something else. The backlash has been pretty brutal, and it's not something I'd like to happen again, so I think it's very important for me to be as honest and transparent as I possibly can.
Yeah, just keep this last part in mind, as it will be really funny throughout this whole video.
And when I came around to Billy's lawsuit against the YouTuber Apollo Legend, I said these words. He also sued YouTuber Apollo Legend for $1 million. I haven't spoken about this publicly, but this lawsuit ultimately ended with Apollo giving in and settling with Mitchell. He was forced to remove all of his videos about Mitchell's cheating and paid him a large sum of money. This left him deeply in debt, which required him to find extra work. But with his ongoing health issues, this was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life. Not that Billy Mitchell would ever care though. In fact, when Billy Mitchell thought Apollo died earlier, he expressed joy at the thought. The lawsuit against Apollo was just as frivolous as the rest, and Apollo definitely would have won in court, but again, he was extremely ill and couldn't handle the ongoing stress. This was inaccurate because the settlement terms did not involve Apollo Legend paying Billy any money. Even though this claim did turn out to be false, I believed it to be true at the time. I had been personally told there was a cash settlement, which numerous others said they were told as well, and this was also stated by multiple Reddit users, with one of them even claiming to have spoken with Apollo directly.
I mean, dude, you cannot make this shit up. So not only did he self-report this badly, that he was in fact guilty of assigning blame for Apollo's passing, as he made a direct correlation between that and his settlement with Mitchell, but he also used Reddit as a fucking source for his untrue claim that Apollo had to pay Mitchell a large sum of money, when the reality was that the terms were adjusted, so Apollo didn't owe any money. Not to mention, he was showing Billy Mitchell offhandedly saying he'd be happy if Apollo died, which, while pretty fucked up in hindsight, was a statement made in March 2018, as seen from the timestamp, while Apollo's passing happened at the end of December 2020. And so, when you try to use that against someone in such a context, yeah, I sure fucking wonder why you'd be sued for slander.
To be clear though, I never said Billy caused Apollo's suicide, nor have I ever believed that.
Yet you heavily fucking implied it when you made a direct and explicit connection between that and his settlement with Mitchell, and not only that, but in the very clip you showed previously, you drone off about his settlement with Mitchell and go off about Billy Mitchell in general, while only offhandedly mentioning Apollo's health issues. Not to mention, this fucking retard explicitly said that the main reason Apollo was in debt was specifically because of the imaginary money he was imaginarily supposed to pay Mitchell. And of course, Carl Brainlet over here explicitly stated that it was that which caused Apollo to do what he did, and only mentioned his health issues offhandedly as being on top of that, in that very clip that we watched like a minute ago. Seriously, how do you expect people to take that? Surely you cannot be this fucking stupid.
I deliberately used words like and but to connect these events. I didn't use words like because or as a result of. I was also very careful to mention Apollo's pre-existing health issues as a major factor. When I said this was all too much, I was clearly referring to multiple things together. The debt, the extra work, and his health issues, all simply as existing, not as causative factors.
Yeah, you only mentioned them existing, while putting the most attention on his settlement with Mitchell and drawing a direct connection with the settlement specifically. What's your fucking point?
Several days later, I received a concerns notice from Billy's lawyer. This is a legal document that you must send to someone before you sue them for defamation. It's the first step in the process. It needs to outline the words of which they complain, what they imply, and why they are false. I didn't take this seriously when I received it, because it wasn't the first concerns notice that Billy had ever sent me.
You serious?
So let me get this straight. This motherfucker really ignored a legal fucking document and then got shocked that he got sued. Like, this honestly has to be a joke at this point. Like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter if he sent you multiple concerns notices. You should still take every single one of those seriously, or else you get your current situation. This shit is really not rocket science.
I received an email reply from Apollo Legend's brother. He confirmed that originally Billy had tried to get money from Apollo, but this greatly upset Apollo because he simply had no money to give. And ultimately, they adjusted the settlement, and in the final version there was no money transferred. As soon as I received this email, I removed my claim from my video, and it has been gone ever since. After I removed the claim from my video, we responded to Billy's lawyers advising them that the segment was removed and that I would be issuing a retraction. Billy said this was not sufficient, and in the response from Billy's lawyer, they stated that proceedings were necessary. Despite this, I still planned on releasing a retraction, and in my video, The Greatest Feat in Video Game History, I included this segment at the end.
Yeah, congratulations, dude. Buried at the tail end of a 30 fucking minute long video with absolutely nothing indicating that it is there. Truly, we are here witnessing the fable 300 IQ thinking. Seriously. Did you honestly think the shit was going to go well?
After I released my retraction, my lawyers contacted Billy's lawyer to let them know, though we never heard back. I've heard a lot of people say that I never made a retraction, or never attempted to correct the record, or was trying to hide my retraction, and that if only I had just made a retraction, this entire thing would have been avoided.
Well, at least one of those was true, as you did, in fact, try to hide the retraction by burying it at the ass end of a 30-minute long video, whether you intended to or not. Surely this is not that difficult to grasp.
But that's just not the case. I wanted the retraction to get as many views as possible.
No, that's just fucking bullshit and you know it. Because in the Creator Studio, it shows under audience retention how many people watched that far into the video, and guess what? The number isn't exactly flattering even on the high end. Not to mention, the retraction comes completely out of left field and begins after you're done talking about the main topic, which is therefore also after the people who watch until the end typically click off. And on top of all that, because the retraction comes completely out of left field, the people who do see it either forget about it due to it being so random, or they don't care in the first place as they clicked on the video for something else entirely. So spare me the grade A fucking bullshit.
I even said as much to my lawyers at the time, and ultimately it did. My retraction got far more views than the original video.
And how many of those views watched until the retraction, dude? Just doing some quick fucking math using my high-end analytics, the amount of people who would have even seen it is less than the views your original video had at the time, which you yourself state as 500,000. And the likelihood is that your analytics are even worse than mine, as you're done talking about the main topic of the video by that time that you add a retraction. Meanwhile, my video was still on the main topic during that timestamp that I've showed. Not to mention that, once again, the people who clicked on that video did it for Dark Souls, and the vast majority of them don't give a Ricky rat's ass about Billy Mitchell or even know he exists. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end it off here because quite frankly the rest is just insanely boring, and no, it does not get particularly better. So I guess the moral of the story here is showing Karl for slander bad because he's guilty. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me, and honestly, I do not even know how we got to this point, but somehow we did. Anyways, I'm gonna go fuck off now. Be sure to like and subscribe to boost me in the algorithm. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.